Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. In a Linux tutorial and shell scripting session today, we would be talking about for loop. So this is what we are going to cover today. What is a for loop, syntax, and quick practicals on it. So what is a for loop? So for loop in a basic bash scripting language is known as the code used for repetition or which executes the code repeatedly or until the condition specified in the for statement is completed or is exhausted. The for loop basically operates on the list of items that you have specified in your for loop condition. Now, in basic bash scripting language, it is also known as an iteration statement. So if someone says what is your iteration statement, so they could be pointing it to the for loop as well. Okay, so what are the syntax in the for loop? So we are going to cover only the basic syntax here, since the for loop would also have the other advanced statements that we could use. For example, the while and different conditions, if and else. So we will cover that in the later session. So in this session, we would be mainly targeting the basic, which which could be used by the system admin for their say daily executions. So we'll cover in that in our example too. So talking about syntax, so we'll talk about two syntax here: the syntax using the in keyword and syntax using the C programming style. So the in keyword, so this for loop contains a number of variables in the list, and it will execute each item from the list. For example, I have specified say 5 or 10 or any number of variables in that list. So the loop will execute it for that number of times, and the value will be displayed and stored in the variable here. Right. So let's talk about this basic example here. So for variable in list, do echo statement and done. So what are the keywords? Keywords are for the first one where your script start. Do, what is the script supposed to do? The in as in we are passing the list here, and done marks the completion of the for loop statement. So if done is not specified here, the script will either give you an error or will not execute at all. Okay. So variable so keywords are for, do, in, and done. Variables in is any variable which is assumed by the user, and list is the list of variables which are separated by the spaces. Now this list would be the file as well, which stores say the username. Okay. uh, and then talking about syntax using the C programming language. Now, so this is the very basic one. Say for cval1, cval2, and cval3. Do echo statement and done. So here the keywords remain pretty much the same. So except in we have for, do, and done. Cval indicates initialization. I mean, what is the start value of my for loop? Cval2 indicates the condition, and Cval3 is about the incrementation or the updation, by how much the value should be updated or the for loop should be updated. Okay, let's cover quick practicals in that. Now, referring to our example, so I had already created those scripts here. So we'll see how that would execute, right? For example, I'm printing the table of 5 here. So for I in curly braces 5 dot dot 100 dot dot 5. Okay. Now this uh, so list the list is specified under the curly braces, and within the curly braces here, the first two uh, So this the first number is basically the initialization, which is the table of 5. 100, this tells my scripts that this is the maximum value of the for loop, basically the condition. And third is how much my the for loop should be incremented. So let's see what does it print. Okay, so we'll execute table. Now you saw 5 to 10, 15. So it is basically executing the 5 table. Now if I specify, say, uh, 55 here, okay, not 100, and the loop would only execute till 55, and it would terminate. Now we'll try specifying the value which would probably not there in the which is not there in the 5 table. Now let's see what happens. Okay, it still printed till 5 and encountered that maximum I could multiply by using 5. The increment value is 55 and it stopped there. Now if I specify another value, say, which will not go in the 5 table, is 62. Now it will stop at 60. Okay, now using the same script here, what happens if I say remove this, right? The increment value, and say what so we'll just try printing this. Okay, my say we'll change this a bit. Incre Increment is $I. Let's see what happens now, right? Now here what happens is it started with the condition, it started with 5, and the maximum I could go in the for loop is 10, right? So it started with 5 and ended at 10. It's just basically printing 5 to 10, any value. Now if I say 2, it would start at 2 and end at 10, right? So this is one using the for loop by using the in keyword. Okay, now let's talk about the condition. Now I have added the condition here. Say condition.sh. Now here uh, the syntax remains pretty much same. The I is for initialization, second is the condition, and the third one is for updation, right? So in this example, the value is I. That is the value of I is 1. That is my initialization value is 1. Less than equal to 10, it cannot go past 10, and plus plus, that is increment, that increment my initialization value, right? Let's see what happens here. Sh condition.sh, right? It simply printed. We'll just add some more statement here, right? So value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it goes till 10. Now let's try using another example. Okay, we'll just change it, interchange the value. So we'll change the initialization value. We'll change the condition value, and the increment value is minus. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, it encountered an error, right? So why it encountered the error here? Because our condition was not correct, right? It says less than or equal to 10. It should be other way around, right? Now let's see. Yeah, print it. Now it started. Now the in the earlier example, it started with 1, 2, 3. plus plus, and in this example it started with 10 and ended at 1. Okay, so this is the basic for in the using the in and the C language statement. Now let's cover quick examples, uh, which we could encounter. Say as a system administrator, you are, for example, are supposed to do, say, user management or file management, or anything related to system. So by the way, you could use these conditions on the command line as well. Okay, it's not required or necessary to use it every time through the script. We'll just quickly cover about the command line. Okay, say for users, say I have list of users, say user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, and user 5, right? And I want to say do, we'll just, for now we'll just list those users. So for I in cat users, right? Now you could see how I'm executing the command here. Cat users is basically a command which I am specifying in the backticks, right? So it will take that as a variable, right, for I in cat. So anything that comes out of cat users, the output of the command cat users will going to pass it to the do command. Do, say, echo hi. We missed adding here. So we missed adding a variable name here, say for I in cat user. So anything that comes out of cat users is would be going in the I variable. Hi user dollar I, and the last statement is done, right? So you would see hi user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, and user 5. Okay, so this is like the basic user operation. For example, say you want to add the users specified in that file, right? So what I'll do, I'll change this. Do user add dollar I and done, right? Now it will start adding the user, whatever user we have specified. Now you see it encountered the error and it exits, right? I don't think it created, let's see what, right? So you could see user 1, 2, we didn't had, so there was a typo in the file, right? User 2, that's why it gave an error that user 2 already exists, and then it continued user 4 and user 5. So it has created all the users. So these are the basic system admin for users. Say for example, you want to do some file operation. Say that there is a file, uh, say since we have already created the user, say we have a file, say m.sh here. So uh, say for uh, I in, say we would see ls m.sh. We would just before we move on to the file, say the file movement, we'll just see what is the output of this, right? And we'll just say, so let's see what happens when we specified done, right? It gives you an error since we have not specified the do operation. Say do ls dollar I and done, right? It just printed this, right? Now if I do not specify this, what happens if I do not specify, right? So we are just printing it, We are just printing the files. Say I want to specify any other parameter here, I could do that, right? ls, and for each file it would pass the -l value as well. Okay, now let's look at the same example of ls, right? So what you would do here, do cp $i, right, to say user 2 or user 1. So we are going to copy the files which come as an output of ls to our username, user 1 home directory, right? Let's see if we have any errors here, right? We didn't. Did it copy all the files? User 1, yeah, you could see it copied, and you can execute the files in the loop as well, right? So see, for example, what I'll do, I'll copy all these files in a list here, right? Right. Okay. So for I in cat file, we'll do cp $i to $i dot back, and done. So what I'm trying to do here, for the list of my files from the cat command, the file that we created, the list of file, what it will do, it will copy each file as and create a backup with the .back extension. Okay, so you see, it created this .back file. Okay, so that's how the basic system admin stuff could be achieved by using the for loop with either the in statement or the conditional statement that you would see. Okay, so yeah, that's all we had for today. Thank you for watching this video, and do let us know in the comments any other topic that you would like us to cover. Bye.